Hello student, myself Priyanka, your physics teacher. In our previous classes, we have already learned about concept of charge, properties of charge and some numerical based on this topic. Now, in our today's class, we are going to learn about Coulomb's law. So, let's start. Coulomb's law is something like gravitational force also. You already learned about universal laws of gravitation in your class 9th. Na? Similarly, there is a law between two charges which is known as Coulomb's law. This law is given by Coulomb, that's why it is known as Coulomb's law. Okay, just like universal law of gravitation, that whenever you place two mass, then what happened? The gravitational force between two objects is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Na? Similarly, in case of charge, if we put two static charge, for example, this is a charge Q1 and this is a charge Q2, and the separation between them is R. Okay. Now, we already learned in our first class also, gravitational force is always attractive, but here electric force may be attractive as well as repulsive. So, according to Coulomb's law, the electric force, according to Coulomb's law, according to this law, electric force between two static point charge, this point you have to mention, the charge should be static and the charge is point also. Okay, in the limitation we will explain this point also, why we have written here. So, let us learn. According to Coulomb's law, electric force between two static point charge is directly proportional to the product of charges. Here I have considered that there are two charges Q1 and Q2. That means electric force F, if we represent electric force by F, then it will be directly proportional to the product of charges. That means magnitude of the charges. For example, if it is 2 Coulomb and if it is 3 Coulomb, then 2 into 3, that means product of the magnitude of charges. Now, inversely, as like gravitational force also, inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. That means you can write F proportional to 1 by R square. Na? Clear? So, if we write these 2 points together, then we will get F proportional to Q1 Q2 by R square. Clear? This is known as Coulomb's law. So, according to Coulomb's law, the electric force may be attractive or repulsive. In electric force, here in bracket also you can write attractive or repulsive force. So, according to Coulomb's law, electric force between two point static charge is directly proportional to the product of their charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So, together we can write F is equal to Q1 Q2 by R square. Now, from the knowledge of mathematics, we know that whenever we replace the proportional sign by a equal sign, then we have to bring one constant. Here the constant is K, small k, Q1 Q2 by R square. Here K is known as Coulomb's constant, or also you can mention it as a electric force constant. Clear? You can write it as a Coulomb constant, or you can also write it as a electric force constant. This is the, if 2 marks question is there, write, give the statement of Coulomb's law, then you have to write up to this. In the formula also half marks is there, so you can take a snapshot of this. Okay, now let us learn about K. What is that? Means what is the Coulomb constant, what its value? Just like universal gravitational constant you have learned, na? There is universal gravitational constant, capital G. That means G have same value all over the universe. Its value is always same for every object, but in case of K, it is not same for every object. It is constant for a particular medium. Now this value, if we take K, the value of K is equals to 9 into 10 to the power 9. How you can find the unit? If you forget the unit now, from the formula already you can write the unit. How? See, what is the value of k? K will be f r square divided by q1 q2 na. So what is the unit of f? Newton. What is the unit of r? That means distance. What is the unit of distance? It will be meter na. So here square is there, that's why Newton meter square. And 2 charge is there, that means coulomb into coulomb, it will be become coulomb square. So unit of k is Newton meter square per coulomb square. Clear? Now this value, that means this formula na, this one, F is equal to k into q1 q2 by r square. When we have take the value of k is equal to 9 into 10 to the power 9, it will be for free space, or you can say that vacuum. This value of k is for vacuum only. Every medium have different value. That means for like density. What is the density of pure water? 1. Similarly, the density of mercury is different. So every matter have a particular constant density. So similarly, k also have different value for different medium. Let us learn about k further. The formula of k is basically k is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Epsilon naught, it is also a constant. It is known as permittivity. If you write epsilon naught, that means it will be the permittivity of vacuum, or you can say that free space. So the formula of Coulomb's law can also be written as F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square. Remember, this law is applicable only for free space. So here we have learned the value of k is depend on the medium as well as the unit system you are using. That means the SI unit or CGS unit, which unit you are using now, on that also k depend. Here I told you now the value of k in free space is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square per coulomb square. That means here we have used the SI unit. Clear? So this is the law for free space. Now if we place 2 charge, that means till now we have learned whenever we place these 2 charge in vacuum or free space, then this formula will be applicable. Now if we place these 2 charge in another medium, for example if we place this in water or oil, some oil, kerosene or any other oil, then what will be the force? Then the force of any medium, let us represent it by Fm, force in the medium. It will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon q1 q2 by r square. Same charge we are taking and same separation is there, only the medium is changes. In that case the formula will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon q1 q2 by r square. Here epsilon means it is the permittivity of the medium. Clear now? So this is the formula for medium and this is the formula for free space. Some short question may ask from this, that means numerical question may ask from this question, also this free space and this medium force also. Now let us give this is as a equation 1 and this one as equation 2. Clear? Now let us divide equation 1 by equation 2. Then what happens? That means F by Fm. It will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q1 q2 by r square multiply Fm. It will be divided now. So reciprocal is there. 4 pi epsilon into r square divided by q1 q2. So q1 q2 and r square will cancel out. 4 pi cancel out. It will be epsilon by epsilon naught. Clear? This quantity, that means ratio of permittivity of the medium to the permittivity of free space, also known as dielectric constant, and it is denoted by K. This term K, capital K, this one small k na, Coulomb constant or electric force constant, and this one capital K, that means ratio of epsilon permittivity of the medium to the permittivity of free space is represented by capital K, which is known as dielectric constant. This is known as dielectric constant. Don't be afraid, it is also one kind of constant and it have a fixed value for a particular medium. About this dielectric constant we will learn more in our next chapter, that means that's capacitance chapter. We will learn more about this. Some 2 marks question, 2 marks numerical may ask from this in your JEE and NEET also. So let me give a small example for numerical from this formula. For example, in free space, or the value of dielectric constant of a medium is 5. Let us consider the value of dielectric constant of a medium is 5 and force acting between these two charges is 3 Newton. Then find the force acting between these two charges in that particular medium. Easy, you have to just use this one, this formula. How? F is equals to F by Fm is equals to K na. So Fm is equal to F by K. That means you have to divide 3 Newton by the dielectric constant only. This type of small 1 marks numerical can also ask in your board exam also. So this is all about Coulomb constant and dielectric constant. You can take a screenshot of this. Till now we have learned about the Coulomb's law, magnitude only. The formula for Coulomb's law, magnitude only. Hai na? But we know that force is a vector quantity. No? That means it have direction as well as magnitude. So we have to learn the vector form of Coulomb's law. For this, let us learn. This can be asked in your theory question in your board exam. For this, you have to write like this. Let us consider we place two charge Q1, Q2 in XY plane. How you can write? Let us consider 2 point static charge Q1, Q2 placed in XY plane. Now, as in your 11th class you will already learn about vector chapter. So the position vector, we consider the position vector. Position vector means distance from the origin to that point. Position vector of the charge Q1 is R1 and the position vector for the charge Q2 is R2. Clear? This will be the position vector we consider here. Now, according to Coulomb's law, we know that the force between these two charges, magnitude of this force between these two charges will be K Q1 Q2 by R square. This is magnitude of Coulomb's law. But in vector form, if we have to learn, then we consider the direction also. R1 is the position vector of Q1 and R2 is position vector of Q2. Now Q1 also apply one force on this, on Q2. You know? Q1 apply force on Q2, similarly Q2 also apply a force on Q1. So first, if we want to find the force acting on the charge Q1 due to the charge Q2, then how we can write? Let us learn. First of all, you have to mention 2 points here. If 2 marks question, theory question is there, you have to write. Okay, this much you have to write. Let two charge Q1, Q2 place in XY plane. R1 is the position vector of Q1, R2 is the position vector of Q2. That means you draw this diagram and just write all the quantity you are having here. Now we have to first consider the force on Q1. Force on Q1. Now force on Q1 charge due to Q2 charge can be written as F12. This is the trick to write the force applied on the charge. So F1, the first term will be written on which the force is applied. Here I have considered that force is applied on Q1, no? That's why here I have written F1. And who applied the force on this one charge? That means Q2. That's why 2 will be written in the next term. For example, if you write here as a QA, it will be as a QB. Then also, how you can notate the formula? FAB, that means force applied on A charge due to B charge. Like this you have to write. Okay. So it will be K into Q1 Q2 divided by R. Now R, what we have to write? R12. Clear? Now R12 means position vector of 1 from 2. This one, that means distance from these two charge to the one charge. How you can, in your class 11th also already in vector chapter we have learned, R12 can be written as like this, na? R1 minus R2, like this. R1, whose position vector is that? For charge 1, na? That's why this position vector of this charge will be first, and you have to subtract the position vector of this charge 2. Clear? R12 means R1 minus R2. Now this is also magnitude, no? This direction is not there. So if we write the vector, then we have to mention one unit vector, no? We have already learned in our 11th class, unit vector will give the direction. Now this unit vector, R cap is there, I have used unit. What is the formula of unit vector? Formula of unit vector is, it is the ratio of vector divided by magnitude of the vector. Magnitude you remember, no? Magnitude means if there is a point A, for example x1, x2 or y1, z1 like this, then what will be the magnitude? It will be root over of x1 square, y1 square, z1 square. Like this we have learned, na? This is the formula for magnitude in order to determine the magnitude of a vector. If you forgot this one, you can check your class 11 portion of vector. So these are, if I want to, that means replace this unit vector in terms of vector, then how can I write? K is equal to Q1 Q2 by R12 square. For this unit vector R12 square means it is also mod, that means magnitude only, direction is not there. Now here instead of R cap, let us write R vector divided by R. It is also mod, no? Magnitude. So this one are equal, so R12 and R12. If you multiply, then it will be K Q1 Q2 divided by mod R12 whole Q into R12. This is the vector from of Coulomb's law, and F12 is the force applied on charge Q1 due to the charge Q2. You can take a screenshot of this. Now if similarly you can find the force applied on the charge 2, that means Q2 due to the charge Q1 also, let us find. Here let me find so that we can compare. F21, here we have to write F. Now force on Q2 charge will be written as F21, that means force on Q2 due to Q1. Similarly you have to write F21 is equal to 1 by K Q1 Q2 divided by R. How can you write R now? Same, R21. That means here R21 means R2 minus R1, like this. I suggest you to check your previous class vector, that means 11th class vector portion, then it will be more easy for you. If you forgot or if you remember, then no problem. Then it will be R21Q, R21, like this. Clear? So this is the vector from of Coulomb's law. Now if you compare this F12 and F21, you can see the magnitude of these two vector is equal, na? Only, or if I write as a extend from this formula like this, then what happened? K Q1 Q2 mod R2 minus R1 whole Q into R2 minus R1, like this. Similarly F12 will be K. You can see the magnitude of these two forces is equal, only the sign is opposite. That means F21 is equal to minus F12 now. So this is all about vector form of Coulomb law. Sometime it will ask for 2 marks question. You have to write like this, two formula, that means 2 line you have to write. Like let us consider 2 charge which are placed on xy plane, then r1 r2 its position vector. After that like this. So simple now. So you can take a snapshot of this. So now we will learn about what are the importance of vector form of Coulomb's law. From the vector form you observe R1 unit vector is equal to minus R2 unit vector. As a result, F12 is equal to minus F21. Have you remembered in class 9 you have learned one formula now? Which formula this is? Newton third law. So from the vector form we can see that Coulomb's law or Coulomb's force also obey Newton's third law of motion. Clear? So from the vector form we have seen that. From this explanation we can see that the Coulomb force is also follow or also obey the Newton's third law of motion. Let us learn the second point. As I told you, Coulomb's law or Coulomb's force is always acting towards the center origin. I have represented that the position vector from the origin. No, that means Coulomb force act along the line joining the center of the two charges. That means Coulomb's force is also a central force. No, just like gravitational force, Coulomb force is also a central force. What is the meaning of central force? Central force means Coulomb force act along the line joining the center between these two charges. So you can write or you can learn from this vector form only that you can prove that Coulomb's law is a central force by using the vector form. So you can write here. Okay. So you can write as the Coulomb force is act along the line joining the center of two charges. So they are central force. They are known as central force. So by using vector form of Coulomb's law, you can prove two phenomena. Coulomb's law obey Newton's third law of motion, and second one, Coulomb's law is a central force. By using this vector form you can prove that. Sometime question may ask, prove that Coulomb's law follow the Newton's third law. Then also you have to write the vector form of Coulomb's law. Sometimes directly the question doesn't come that write that Coulomb's, give the statement of vector form of Coulomb's law. Some question may ask also like this, prove that Coulomb's law follow Newton's third law of motion. Then also you have to write the vector form of Coulomb's law. Similarly, it may ask like this also, prove that Coulomb's law is a central force. Then also you have to write the vector form of Coulomb's law. So you can take screenshot of these 2 points also. Now we have to learn the range of Coulomb's law. Actually, the range of Coulomb force is from 10 to the power minus 15 meter, that means nuclear range it is, and the macroscopic or the large distance 10 to the power 18 meter. This is the range of Coulomb force. Now we have to learn in which situation or in what condition Coulomb's law satisfied, or you can say that what are the limitation of Coulomb's law. Let us learn. So let us learn about the limitation of Coulomb's law. First, the electric charge must be at rest. Coulomb's law only applicable whenever the charge are stationary. That means whenever the charge are not moving, then only we can apply the Coulomb's law. So this is the limitation of Coulomb's law also. And second point, the electric charge must be a point charge. Now what is the meaning of this point? Point charge means the radius or the size of the charge must be less than between the separation between the two charges. We know that the Coulomb's law is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. That means separation between them. So the size of the charge must be smaller than the separation or than the distance between these two charges. That's why it is written here, the electric charge must be point charge. That means the size of the charge doesn't greater, if the size of the charge is greater than the distance between two charges na, then Coulomb's law cannot be applied. Clear? So this is also one limitation of Coulomb's law. Then third one, distance between two charges must be greater than 10 to the power minus 15 meter. Just now I have told you the range of Coulomb's law. What is that? 10 to the power minus 15 meter to 10 to the power plus 18 meter. So what happened if 10 to the power minus 15 meter distance is there? Can you guess? देखो 10 to the power minus 15 meter distance means it is the nuclear size na. That means there will be a strong nuclear force if the distance is less than 10 to the power minus 15 meter na, then there will be a strong nuclear force whose value is greater than the electric force. That means it will dominate the Coulomb force. That's why we can apply Coulomb's law only when the distance is greater than 10 to the power minus 15 meter. So these are the limitations of Coulomb's law. You can take a screenshot. Short question may also come from this. We have learned all about the Coulomb's law, the statement of Coulomb's law, vector form of Coulomb's law, then importance of vector form of Coulomb's law, and limitation of Coulomb's law. Hope you have enjoyed the class and you have understood all the point. And in our next class we will solve some numerical related to Coulomb's law. Thank you.